going on, everybody? It is Luke, and today we are going to be going over how to source your first product or products to sell on Amazon. Of course, when you get started to sell on Amazon, I always suggest just to have a bit, have a bit of fun and scan barcodes with the Amazon Seller Central app on your phone, just to get a feel for like things. Just not that you're intending to sell any of that, but it's just to get a feel of understanding, you know, what's popular and what's not, because you need to build up a little bit of a library within yourself to understand, you know, what kind of things people buy, what things are good, bad, and what are good and bad compared to what I think is going to happen. So I think this is great, but actually it's not very, it doesn't sell well on Amazon. So you need to get like that sort of understanding. And the best way I was just scanning, you know, anything that had a barcode in my flat at the time, just to see and get a feel for it. And then I just went around, you know, to my local store, my local shop, and just had a little play around there, just scanned a couple of bits because I was learning the ropes. But of course, that is not online, so you know you can do that as a little bit of fun on the side to get familiar. But how do you do it online? How would I find my first product? Well, to start with, it's going to be tough because you'll be gated in a lot of categories. So obviously you don't know what products to sell, and you can't sell 90% of them. So you've got two things going against you there. And that will happen, and it takes time because, again, you know, how quickly or how easy is it to have a fully fledged income, you know, whenever that goal is full-time job? It's not easy. Of course, if it was easy, then it wouldn't exist because everyone would be doing it, therefore there'd be no profits to be made because there'd be too many people doing it, if you see what I'm saying. And so that beginning bit is literally just, you know, you find one. If you can find one deal, well, why can't you find 1,000 deals? Even if it takes you 3 years or 4 years to find 1,000. But then once you have that 1,000, maybe you can keep selling 300 to 500 of them on a consecutive basis, you see? And so it's not really about the now, it's about getting kind of stuck in and work, you know, even a little win like, oh, I found one deal, that's £1 profit, cost me 6. That's still a win, yeah? You know, I would probably sell products like that because I've got plenty of capital available. But obviously as a new person, you wouldn't. So for me, that's a good deal. But maybe for you, like, well, I've only got £1,000. I don't really want to spend, you know, 6, 7, 8 quid on a £1 profit. Because I need to, you know, for whatever, you know, for your various reasons. And so for me, that's fine. But it doesn't mean you can't hold on to that product. Just record it in a spreadsheet. And then later on, when you do have plenty more capital, you can go and sell it because more profit is better than no profit. Yeah, it's better to make £1 than it is to make 0. So I'm going to go over two ways for you to get started. Now, one's a free way to do it, and one's a paid way. So it's up to you. Of course, the free way will take you a lot longer and it will be a little bit more complex, but the free way does give you the better results in the long term, I find. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the paid version first. And the reason I'm going to start with the paid version is because it's a lot easier for me just to explain and show you, and then I'll obviously go into a bit more technicals of how to do the manual or the way yourself. So this is Fast Track FBA, okay? It's kind of cut off at the top of the screen. But ultimately, what you can go ahead and do is you can go ahead, and it does cost money. So if we just go on to where it is, just so you can see. So this is fasttrackfba.com. I'll have a link in the description below for like 20% extra credits. So don't just sign up through the normal link because you'll get a better rate than this. So usually people do sort of the basic or the advanced. What's the cost? 67. You basically, you know, I would always say people to start with that, but you actually can get more than 45. I think you can get like 20% more, whatever that ends up being. 9 more, so no, 9, whatever it is, 9 tokens or something. Or you can obviously do that one, but just to keep costs down. The great thing about what you can do here is you can sign up, you get tokens to unlock deals, but then you could cancel this subscription straight away, and you still have your tokens to use, and so you're not like burdened by this price for consecutive months. If you just, you know, some services, they give you deals every day, but once that month's over, it's over. And what if you don't find any good deals that you want? Well, with this, you get to choose the deals you unlock. So you can specify toys and games or whatever category you can sell in as a beginner. And then you can, tokens last for 3 months. So you can, every 3 months, maybe get some. Or if you find there's a problem, I can't sell the product, you can go and get a refund on your credits. So it's really versatile. And you can basically keep going, with this system until you find a product that you can sell. So let's say you think it's a great product, you buy it, it's like, I can't buy that product for it, get a refund. You got 45 credits all, plus the 20% you get from the link. And then you can go back again, and so on and so on and so on. And then you don't have to buy the products until you are sure that product looks like it's potentially a product for you. And you might think, well, what does that mean? So if you go into... I have to click this. So if I go into here, so what you'd essentially do is you would go ahead and go, okay, well, let's say that you believe you can sell, actually there might be an option, no there was not, you might think, maybe there is, but I won't go into that. So let's just say toys and games, easier. Toys and games, and you want like 250 profit and you want 30%, I don't know, and sort by found date, that's usually the best, just because it will show the most recent product or the oldest, or however you want to go about it. You could obviously start at the back and work your way forward from the oldest, or you can start at the newest, and it will say here date found, and there's only 10 people that can actually get this deal. So once it's been unlocked by 10 excuse me, I'm dying today. Once it's been unlocked by 10, that is it. And you can see all to here, one person's bought it, so on and so on. And you can basically look at the keeper chart. So again, one of the videos is getting really familiar. It's about software. So what software do you need? It's about really getting familiar with the BuyBotPro integration of Keeper, which looks basically like this. Really understanding it. And you can get totally loads of free content on Keeper. Even on my YouTube channel, there's one like an hour long Keeper, mastering Keeper or something. So I would say if you don't, if you're not sure, go and watch that first. Because what you can do is you can learn that video. Then you can use this graph, and you can also drill into the deal. You don't actually see what the product is basically, but you can use this data here, and you can use the data up here to build up a very good picture. To be like, right, okay, good. I am confident of unlocking the deal. And what you would do is you would click the view deal, and you would unlock the deal there, and then you would click that, and then you would buy the deal for 3 tokens, and each, depending on the profit for the products, there's different cost. 1, 2, and 3 tokens it takes to unlock a deal, depending on how good it is and how much competition and so on. And if there's anything that you don't like about it, that's maybe, that said, it said the profit was £5 and now it's 2. That's wrong. You can go and get a refund. Anything that's inconsistent with what you are seeing, doing, and knowing, you can get a refund for. And that's why I really like it. So beginners, it's really good, because if you make a mistake, you do it wrong, oh damn it means you can go and get a refund. You just explain, I did this by mistake, or it is saying it's now £2, or the price on the retail website's changed, or whatever it is. And then you can go ahead and obviously sell the product, and great, and then you can move on. And there's lots of other things you can do with it. I've got loads of other videos for more advanced strategies to use the software, but this is more related to beginners. And so that is what I would recommend for if you're looking to do a paid service. And there's no reason you can't do both. And now with a manual. Now you might think, well, how the hell do I do a manual? I don't know where to start. Now, again, you don't. So that's why I actually feel sometimes it's good to get stuck in with something like this, even if it's just a one-off for the first, sign up and unsubscribe. Because then you get a feel for what you can search for. So I sell a lot of groceries, so I'll just give you some heads up. I did the other video on this, didn't I? I did another beginner's guide on this before, so that's why I'm using the same example. So let's just find it. So I used to sell this, but obviously it got a bit crap, and you could still sell it. It sells for $8.55, but it's no buy box, so you can see sales are pretty terrible. But if you go back historically, it was selling well like a year ago. But what you can do, so that's 2 things I would suggest doing. So let's say you use this as your point of reference. Of course, what if you're not on getting grocery, you can't do this. So if you are getting into toys and games, you can just start with something like this, get a couple of like places to start, like starting bases, starting products, and you can work through this similar method. So what you can do is two things. You can go into new, and then you can basically look for a seller that looks established. So what you would do is see this, it says rating here. That basically means the number of feedback, 571. You want to have a look. You want it to be dispatched from Amazon and not themselves. And you want to see that they have a lot of feedback. So if you keep going down, there's actually not many sellers here. And that's not the end of the world. We don't need to only do it. Let's just move it this way. But you can see it does say dispatched by Amazon here. They have 571 rating. I have about more than that, but that's still decent. So what you could do is you can go ahead and click onto that person, and then you can click on products there, and you can get a feel. Look, they're selling very similar style products on Amazon, and it can give you like a foot in the door, so to speak. So, you know, even if you can't find these products, obviously you don't know where to find these products. Oh, one thing, don't click on this button to think don't think it's selling for 10.90. Don't go click here and go, oh look, it's selling for 10.98, and then work out your profit. The reason that you don't want to do that is if you click through to that, it takes you to their storefront. Now, what do I mean by their storefront? Each person has their own like slightly unique store, but we all show up on the same page. But where I've clicked through into him, it's showing just his product and just the cost or just the price he's selling them for. So I think you might be able to do it through. Let's have a look here. Can we do it through here? Not that. Well, this is what I do. I double click the ASIN. I go onto Amazon, and I just paste in the ASIN here, and then it will give me the product. See, it says 9.59, and now there's more sellers and all that kind of thing. So you just don't want to get confused by clicking on that and thinking it's selling for more than it is. And then we can. So always make sure you're taking the ASIN across, and then obviously you can go and do this, and you can technically you can keep going through and going and doing that same routine. Look for Amazon. That was the same company. There's another Amazon, but he's got 5 ratings, so no, pass. Amazon here. Oh, and you want to make you want to make sure if you clicked on this person, you want to make sure that they are not private label. So like if the products look like very unique, which they don't, you know, Nescafe or B, like if it looks more like a product related to their brand name, because you can see that it's got like it looks quite micronutrients, like they might have their own, but they don't. It's just the name. But I always be cautious, not to just go and copy everything they sell. That's the problem. You want to try to not sell anything that's too you want generic. So you want Nanotop sauce, or you want like a Disney doll, or you want like a Frozen toy or Lego. You know, like you want something that's quite more generic, whatever the category may be. Then what you can do as well, let's say we go back to the original. So, you know, not only now we've got sort of 2 basis points, and you can keep extrapolating those same principles going onto the sellers, look on every product that you come across. So it can go on forever. If you scroll down, you can have a look, obviously, all the way down here. There's normally like sections like this, yeah? You can see here, and you can see there's 2 here. Sometimes there's more, and sometimes there's less. Like, sometimes you just get these 2. Sometimes you'll get this, and sometimes you'll just get more down here. What you want to look for is, you can use this. So you can go ahead and go, oh, oops, this product here, let's just go on to it. And you can go ahead and see, yep, lots of sellers. Nando's, quite generic, you know, you can go ahead and find out, and then you could do the same principle again, go into here, look at the sellers. But what you can go ahead and do is obviously you can go down here, and you can then keep going through the rabbit hole. This one, you know, that's it. You can buy it for £2 each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Selling for £18.95. It's not actually that bad. I quite like that one. Yeah, the sales aren't great, but we're looking to get started here. We're not looking for glitz and glamour. We're looking to make, you know, let's buy 4 of these each. So like 4 of that one, 4 of that one, 4 of that one. And it takes, you know, within a month I'll sell them and I'll make £5. It's a start. You know, you found a product for free and you made £20 in a month. It's not that bad going, is it? You know, as a beginner, definitely. And it's so generic as well. Like, it's not expensive to buy that. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 quid. 6 times 5, you know, or 6 times however many you want to get. It's not a lot of capital. So you can, you know, that's why I like this kind of style product. And with toys, it's a little bit more expensive, but it's not the end of the world. You can still do it. And again, scroll down, look for this bit here, and you could go on, okay, let's try that one. And yes, it might not be profitable and all that kind of thing, but we're just looking for ideas here. And then we're scrolling down, and you could look at like more items to explore. This section. So depending on the wording, if it says sponsored, if it says 4 stars and above, I would always leave, do not touch. More items to explore you can use, and you could look at products related to this item, but the best one I like, that's more relevant normally to find good products, is customers who view this item also view. That usually brings you the most, and what you can keep doing obviously is scrolling and scrolling. They're all almost identical is what you want, because with these kind of ones, they're not identical. There's these random brands that pop up, and you want stuff that's a little bit more generic. Yeah, generic. These are, I mean, how many places sell these products? Everywhere, basically. And you can just keep going through them all, and yeah, loads of them might not be profitable, or you might not be able to find the product at store. But then you can go, oh yeah, I remember seeing this, you know, at Sainsbury's or something. And you can go, let's have a look at the sellers. I mean, you just go in, literally, you just rinse and repeating that rhythm. And yes, it could be time consuming, but once you've got a basis, you don't have to do it all in one go. You know, you can do it over a couple of months, as well as a month to 3 months. You know, once you've got 50 products and you're rotating 20 to 30 of those 50 consecutively, because they're not always going to be profitable and stuff. So it's going to go, you know, you might sell 50 at the peak, and then you might come down to like 25 because you can't, or out of stock, not profitable. Whatever reason it is, and then you'll obviously find another 50, and that would then total 75 that you're selling, and then it might go down to 50, and it'll kind of yo-yo. And then at times that when you're selling those 50, some more products that you used to sell will appear be profitable, so you'll be able to sell like, you know, an extra 20, 30, and it's more about just moving up that ladder with those products. And again, you know, using if you get really stuck using softwares like this, services like this, helps towards it. And then what you can do is when you unlock these products, you can do that same method that I've just mentioned here with this manual process to help you find new products, and you just keep going through that repetition. Keep going. Of course, make sure your settings are correct on BuyBotPro and that when you're calculating your profits, but that was a separate video, and there's plenty of content on my YouTube channel to explain each and everything in its entirety, but completely focused on one thing: BuyBotPro, manual sourcing. So everything I'm talking about now, there's separate videos for that I've done historically on my YouTube channel. You can go ahead and watch that yourself. But this is more just to give you an overview of how to, I would say, sourcing your first product, if you get what I mean. So I'm going to leave the video there. Hopefully you liked it, and if you want to find out more, go onto the Mr. FBA UK YouTube channel, and you will find dedicated videos related to manual sourcing, Fast Track FBA, BuyBotPro, Keeper, all that kind of thing as well. If you want to learn and really get that knowledge first of all these areas, and then combine them to process this and to get acting on this. So have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you on the next one.